Hello. Just please. I'm curious. Sorry, I'm putting you on spotlight. You probably just came to listen. You didn't join to. You didn't join to come and start answering questions. All right. If you're just joining, you're welcome. We are starting like right now. I'm curious to know why you joined. It would really be nice if you can share with me. At least let's have some very interactive session before we have others join us. All right, Mr. Sunday, Divine, who else? You want to say something? Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, it seems nobody wants to say anything. Good evening, please. I would like you to confirm you can hear me so that, please, that needs to stop. I want to confirm, please, if you can hear me so that I'll just start. I don't intend to keep us longer than is necessary. Please, can somebody help me with a chat or a okay, let me check my chat. Okay, Sunday said, good evening, sir. I joined to learn about the topic. Thank you so much. Okay, please, I just need one more confirmation that you can hear me, then I'll really get into it. All right, thank you, Mr. Sunday. Hey, thank you so much. My big sis is connected. Happy birthday in arrears, ma. Thank you for joining. I have Dr. Omoni Bolaji connected. Thank you so much, ma, for joining. Thank you for the support. And ma, you want to say something? You just unmuted. Oh, if you're saying something, I can't hear you. Well, thank you so much. You can send a chat, ma. Thank you for joining. We're grateful. Thank you for the support. We're expecting more people to join, but I think we should get the party started. Now, today is International Day of Education, and in commemoration of the celebration, it was something that United Nations came about in the year 2018. I'm going to talk about why that is in just a little while, just as we get into the slide. So my name is Welt Oladile Olaito. I kind of find it quite challenging to know the title that I should call myself because I do a lot, really. But majorly, this particular rendezvous is about what I do with young people. So I'm a certified teen coach. I'm a teen pastor precisely. If it matters, I'm an on-air personality. I run a radio program on Super FM every Saturday, 8 to 9 p.m. We've done that for a year now. And I do a lot of stuff with young people. And today, the subject of discussion is the 7-star education. So we're looking at an expert insight for parents, educators, teen coaches, guardians, maybe youth leaders and stakeholders that work with um, young people. I'd like to quickly, though that is not the focus of this discussion, I would like to quickly say that there's a difference between a teenager and an adolescent. And so for the purpose of this discussion, we will be using the term adolescence. Teenager simply refers to the ages of between 13 and 19-year-old. While when you look at adolescence, it's focused more on the psychological, cognitive, emotional, and when you look at the phase of puberty all the way to full maturity, and we all know that, well, if you don't know, I'm telling you that puberty stage is different. It can start earlier, it can start later, depending on genetic factor and a lot of other things. So teenage is particularly focused on the teenage age, right? While adolescent is focused on a more focus more on cognitive development, psychological development, and a lot of other factors when you look at young people. So I will be using the word adolescent because the teen age is between the adolescent phase of a person's life. And so when you look at the teen age, it basically deals with, the adolescent, it deals with from ages, it could start much later, but you're looking at people from ages 14 to maybe 25. It can go as mid-20s. So for the purpose of this discussion, I would like just to proceed. So here we're looking at, please confirm you can see my screen. Please confirm if you can see my screen. I'll look into the chat if you can see my screen. Okay, somebody's saying the audio is not clear. Please do me a favor. If at any time my audio is not clear, let me know. Please, is the audio better now?
Yeah, the audio is clear, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you see my slide?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. So the International Education Day, today is January 24th. This, the United Nations came about in 2018, and January 24th has been set aside by the United Nations General Assembly as International Education Day. This day aims to recognize the importance of education in achieving the SDG goals, and with focus on sustainable development, peace, and human rights. And the spotlight basically is on quality education, sustainable development, particularly the SDG 4, which has to do with quality education, then global solidarity. The topic is 7-star education, and the question is why? The 7-star education is the real deal. It's like when you say the real McCoy, is what is relevant in this 21st century. If we look at the way we received education and the kind of education, and when I say we, there are several generations. You have Generation Alpha, Gen Z, and the different generation. In fact, 2025 marks the beginning of another generation that they call Gen Beta. Now, if you go to our Instagram handle, the Teens Voice Academy, a new generation is on board, and they are called Gen Beta. And these are generations that are highly AI powered and a new generation. And so if you look at the previous generation onto this generation, we can't use the same academic approach in raising them because it won't deliver the intended result. So basically, to raise successful and significantly, okay, someone saying something. Okay, I think, all right. Okay, I'll continue. To raise successful and significantly impactful children with a competitive advantage in this AI generation, you need to give them a superior 7-star education. We're going to explain what that means as we get along. So what you can expect, we are going to explore very briefly multiple intelligence tests. They are relevant in helping your children, or in your case, whether you work in the academic sector or you have an adolescent, or you are a decision maker, a policy maker, you are a teen coach, youth pastor, teens church pastor, and what have you really? Well, by the time we're done, we will be able to look at some critical tools that you can use. Now, we'll look at multiple intelligence tests, and they are relevant in helping children and young adults choose a course of study and career, the wheel of life and how to prepare your children ahead in life, the dimensions of the 7-star education. Then we'll look at old school and the new school. Then we'll look at, we'll take a few questions, if any, really. So about Teens Voice, right? We are an organization focused on preparing adolescents for a successful and significantly impactful adult life. And we do this through our 7. Sorry, you would have to help us please mute. Just a moment. You need to mute. Okay, I just did that. Thank you. Thank you. Please, once you join in, kindly just mute. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we, as an organization, we're focused on preparing adolescents for a successful and significantly impactful adult life through our 7-star education program. Now, when we say 7-star, we're not just looking at it in terms of number. We're looking at it in terms of when you say an hotel, or maybe you say an experience that you have. You say, I had a 7-star experience. I have a 4-star experience. I have a 5-star experience. And so when we say 7-star, we're dealing with the quality of the education, something that is complete, thorough. And if you look at it, there's nothing missing. I think Burj Khalifa, I'm trying to remember one of the hotels in Dubai that is said to be the only #1 hotel that is 7-star globally. Please, if you're just joining us, do us a favor. Please mute. Thank you. All right. So Burj Khalifa, no, it's not Burj Khalifa. I'm not sure whether it's Burj Khalifa, but the #1, there's only one acclaimed 7-star hotel, and that is in Dubai. And so it's complete, it's thorough, there's nothing missing, nothing broken, right? So we achieve what we said Teens Boys is all about, which is preparing adolescents for a successful and significantly impactful adult life. We achieve this working with the adolescents themselves. If you're just joining us, we already differentiate or explain the difference between who a teenager is and an adolescent. Teenage actually is what it is. It has to do with age 13 to 19, but adolescent has to do with more of psychological cognitive development of a person. And so you're looking at, it can be as early as 10. You're looking at from puberty all the way to full maturity, which can last up to mid-20s. So you're looking at maybe from age 10 to 25, as the case may be. So the term adolescent is what we will frequently use in this discussion because the teenage is within the period of an adolescent's phase. And of course, is what you can refer to as young adults, right? And so this is one of the most potent phase of a person's life. And why this is significant and a core focus for us as an organization is because the teenager that a person is the adult they will become. The experiences that a teenager has, the exposure that they have, is going to tell on the adults they become eventually. And so it's the most potent formative years of their life that if they get anything wrong, you can as well forget about it, except by some kind of divine interruption or intervention. That's the adults they become. And so that's where opinions, convictions, belief, whether good, bad, or ugly, that's where they are formed, right? So we work with the adolescent themselves, we work with their parents and guardians, we work with educators, we work with government and policymakers, we work with youth leaders and youth groups. And so they could be religious leaders of any kind, whether Muslims, whether Christians, because our approach really is scientific, and we work with different groups and other relevant stakeholders really that work with adolescents. So moving right along, now let's move to the core of the discussion. We're looking at 7-star education. The first thing we need to look at is the 7 intelligences that every human has. Now, this is not by any means saying intelligence quotient. This is different from intelligence quotients. This is different from emotional intelligence. It's not an IQ thing. It is that every individual is said to have 7 intelligences. That means if we look at your life, you are intelligent to different degree, right? To different degree in this different area of your life. Now, Howard Gardner, a psychologist, right, from Harvard, came up with 7, but 2 more has been added over time. Howard Gardner is a development psychologist and a professor of cognition and education at Harvard. Graduates School of Education developed the theory that there are 7 kinds of intelligence, though there are more now. I'm going to share a quick slide, even though it's not added yet. I'm just going to open my folder and show you the 2 additional. Now, what this simply means is that the theory postulates that we are all intelligent in this different area, however, at different degree. Now, an understanding of your intelligence in this area will give you an idea, certain career. Of course, if you have, for instance, a high degree of intelligence in your verbal linguistic, it should let you know that courses you will likely thrive in or career that a young person will likely thrive in. Now, I know I'm talking to parents and a few young people who are here, but please take the slide that somebody who is listening in for those who work with young people, right? And if you're a young person yourself, it's very relevant to you. So for instance, if your verbal linguistics is very high, you are dealing with people who use their mouth a lot. So either they are lawyers, they are storytellers, and they are good with words. So verbal linguistic is the first on the list, which is these are verbal people who naturally enjoy reading, writing, and speaking, right? Then you have logical linguistic. The degree of these guys are more logical people who naturally like numbers, they like patterns, they like strategy, they like games, they like doing experiments. I'll use my wife as an example. She's a logical person. I'm more of the talker. She is more of the number smart and, logical dexterity. Her degree in that regard is higher than mine. I'll move to the next one. The next one is body kinesthetic. Now, these are physical people who love and do all things physical and are natural athletes, dancer, crafts people. They like to use their hands, their finger dexterity. They are footballers, boxers, and they are physical people like me, except when necessity is laid on me. I'd rather stay in one place and use my head than run around Lagos, right? That does not mean I'm lazy. It's just the degree of my intelligence as far as using my physical ability is not very high like that. But of course, when I am forced to use that level, that intelligence in me, it is what it is. And there are some people really, because of pressure or demand, they can use their body kinesthetic, but naturally, it's not an area they like to function. Then you look at spatial intelligence. That's number 4. Now, these are abstract people. They are highly visual and they think in images and pictures. People like this will thrive more in careers such as architecture, photography, graphics design, and what have you. Some of us are not very good with our level of intelligence as far as picture and spatial use is not the same. Some people have a high level of intelligence in this area. Number 5 deals with musical, and of course, this musical, you're dealing with people that are musically inclined or gifted. They are great listeners and naturally gifted people in the area of music. They can understand music. In my church, I have quite a number of people like that. Someone immediately comes to mind. She's the daughter of a very prominent gospel artist in Nigeria, right? And anytime we need to work on a song, I can be sure that I remember we did a song one time for our pastor in our church, and I wrote a line. Yeah, I know you are wondering, did I really write? I did. Sorry, can you hear me now? My network tripped off. Can you hear me now? Hello, my people. All right, thank you, Samuel. Thank you for confirming you can hear me. So I'll share my screen. Network just happened, so we'll take you from there. So I was telling you about how that I have a member of my church that it was like she's born with mine. So we did a music together. And by the time all of us added our line, we went to the studio to record. Yeah, I went to the studio, believe it or not, I did. God. By the time she was done and I was done, I was like, God, some people are just, it's like they came with mic from heaven, right? It was just an amazing feel and vibe when she sang. Now, the next thing is interpersonal intelligence. Now, these are people who are excellent communicators and who emphasize and demonstrate leadership in that regard. So they are resolution people, they are good with conflict resolution, perfect with resolving matters, you know, and what have you. Now, the next one is intrapersonal. Now, interpersonal, if I could return to that slide, has to do with relationship between yourself and other people, right? And of course, you have those who are excellent communicator or negotiators. Now, these are jobs people like this can do. They are good with marketing, they are good with sales, they are good with being even therapists and what have you. They can deal with people and literally make them forget their sorrow and all. Now, the next one is intrapersonal. This has to do with insight. And of course, it could relate to with the level of introvertedness, whether extrovert or introvertedness. Now, these are people who are aware of their own feelings and are self-motivated. I'm like that, right? Now, like I said, two more school of thought have been postulated, and we will review them subsequently. Now, the point is this. Every individual should do all they can to develop all these dimensions of intelligences. Now, that they possibly can in their lifetime in order to become more valuable to themselves and in their career or business and increase their chances in life. Now, the thing is this, at Teens Voice, one of the services we render is that, for instance, we give career guidance and counseling for young people using tests like this. There's a test, scientific test that they can do that can help them discover this area of intelligences, right? And from there, we'll look at the academic results, performance over a period of time, right? And for me, I recommend really, and I'm grateful to God that I have a key stakeholder from the Ministry of Education with us here, Dr. Omoni. I hope she'll be able to speak with us briefly before we leave, to say that this multiple intelligence test is what we should do from GSS 3. So when we look at the results of GSS 1, GSS 2, GSS 3, for instance, how do you choose whether or not you should go to art class, commercial class, or science class? Often it's based on one of two things. Number one, the father or the family have decided you are going to be a doctor. How do you know the person is supposed to be a doctor, or you are going to be a lawyer? How do you know? You know, there's also the part of, oh, I knew by the Spirit. It's okay, but then why you know by the Spirit for those of us who are spiritually inclined and all, there's a scientific way to do this, and it's important that we follow those approach. So as early as DSS 3, multiple intelligence tests should be carried out to help someone decide, okay, which department should I go, whether arts, commercial, or science. Now, tests like that exist, and at Teens Voice, we offer such at a fee for people who would like to know that. Of course, if you're already in SS1, we can help. When you're already in SS2, before you start making a decision for subject combination for either JAM, WAEC, NECO, or GCE, is another time it's important to carry that. But of course, if you have already written WAEC or GCE, and maybe you have not gotten admission, before you write that next JAM, it's important that we conduct this kind of test for you. Like I said, it's at a fee. So something like that is what we do at Teens Voice, right? And just a minute, I would like to just minimize my slide a bit. I want to quickly go to my folder. I want to quickly go to my folder and open something. Oops. Okay, sorry. I think it's on my WhatsApp. I hope you're not seeing my WhatsApp screen. No? Okay, I would like to quickly I want to share another screen with you to just go over the I know it's tiny, but please bear with me. I'm sharing from WhatsApp. Please confirm you can see what is on the screen before I go ahead to explain it. Whether through a chat or an emoticon, please do me a favor by confirming you can see what's on the screen. Hello, people. Now, of course, if you're on Instagram, you won't see the slide I'm talking about. If you have gotten my broadcast or you have my contact on WhatsApp, you can go ahead to just join the Zoom link so that you can see the screen I'm talking about for those who are participating on my Instagram handle. Thank you very much. So I'm going through the 9 intelligences. I had spoken about 7 before, but I just want to run through them again. I'm saying these 9 areas of intelligence are a prerequisite in deciding your career choice and a course of study. I know most people don't do it, and that is why we are teaching on this. And it's a prerequisite really in helping you prepare for a very successful and significantly impactful adult life. Nobody should stumble through life. And maybe at crisis moment is when they start making critical decisions about their life. I, for instance, when I finished my secondary school, right, I was forced to go to school, higher institution. I didn't want to go that year. But of course, they said I must go. I was told that the course I wanted to study was mass communication, as you would expect. I'm a talker, right? And of course, I'm intelligent in other areas, as we have seen in the multiple intelligence, right? So the thing was, it was mass communication I applied for. Because I really delayed, I didn't want to go to school. At the time, they said I should go to school. So what happened was, my brother then, of blessed memory, applied, and he said the department that was taking mass communication was full. So eventually they gave me an alternative course in estate management. And they told me that I should just go and do it by 200 level. I can switch to another department. What did I know? They lied. Anyway, I started. By the time 200 level, I thought I wanted to switch. It was impossible because estate management was in the School of Environmental. Mass communication was in the Faculty of Communication and all. So there are 2 different faculties. That switch was not possible. To be honest, I struggled to my first degree. Most annoying. Yeah, somebody said there's money in it. Why didn't you just do it? I did my IT. Not very happy. In fact, that was what even made it worse. When I did my IT, I was living on the mainland, for those of you who live in Lagos. And I was traveling from Bagada. I call it travel because it was not funny. I was traveling from Bagada to Broad Street on Lagos Island. I do that 25 days of the month. And for my 5 to 6 month IT, my Oga, I don't want to call the name of the organization, was giving me 5,000 there. And this was at 2008. Yeah, 2008. And please don't tell me it's big money, because I spend on the average for those trips, including the days they will send me out to go and start looking for how, take measurements, theodolite, and all of that. Okay, let's leave the story about me. But the point is this. I'm not doing anything with that course. So what I did was, after my first degree, immediately I came back from school. I picked up a BSc program in public relations. And from there, I went on to get my master's in communication. And of course, I was just living different life. Now, that was 4 years of my life. I won't call it wasted because I met people, I learned, I grew. But imagine if that energy was properly channeled into the area of my intelligence. I think I'm digressing too much. But the point is this: intelligence tests is there are tests for multiple intelligence that you can carry out that can help you know what course of study. Of course, the test is just one aspect of it in determining, for instance, somebody's in GSS3 and you're trying to determine whether it is hard class, commercial class, or science class you should go to. Yeah, you have this test to be done. Then we have to look at your results over a period of time. Then, of course, if it's JAMB you want to write or WAEC you want to write, we need to look at a lot of other things that, like I said, at Teens Voice is something we can provide at a fee. But moving right along, I just want to go over quickly on the screen the 9 multiple intelligence. I already spoke about verbal linguistic. It has to do with those who are very skilled in communication and meaning and all of that. One of the skills that they have is listening. For time's sake, I will not repeat what I've said. I'll just go over the 2 other that I said has been added. The doctor of psychology from Harvard had 1 to 7. But the 2 that has been added is what you call the naturalist intelligence and the existential intelligence. Now, naturalist intelligence is the ability to recognize and categorize plants and animal and other objects. Now, people like this are people that they like pets. They like plants, they like nature. Do you understand? And so, of course, you already know people like that can be scientists, naturalists, landscape surveyor, architect, and what have you. The 9-1 that I believe is one of my highest level of intelligence, which is where I am. Well, it's one of my top highest after verbal linguistic, right? Is existential intelligence. Now, this has to do with sensitivity and capacity to tackle deep questions about human existence, such as purpose. And people like this, of course, are those you find like pastors, theologians, philosopher, monk, and all the people in the spiritual balance and what have you. It's amazing to know that there is an intelligence level like that. So moving right along, because of time, I'll go to my next slide, and I will stop sharing this particular screen. Then we'll move into, we've dealt with that. We have dealt with multiple intelligence tests. So the next thing we are going to go over is, just a moment. I want to share my screen. All right. So share. All right, where did I stop? Okay, I stopped at the 7 intelligences. So, yep. So if you look at it, I already dealt with this. So let's move on. The next thing we want to talk about is the 7 sections of the wheel of life. Now, what this simply means is that this 7 section of the wheel of life simply means that is what you call different departments or area of focus as far as the human person's life is concerned. The wheel of life has 7 sections, and no one wants to miss having the entire piece of the pie, right? So in the wheel of life, there are 7 areas. So we'll discuss them briefly. Number 1 is the career part, right? I'm not aware of anyone who wants to fail in his or her career. Everyone I know does all they can to excel in their chosen career, because career is a vital part of our human life. So if you were to say, oh, you know, when some people say like my professional life, my financial life, and what have you, that's what we're dealing with. So the first thing when you look at the 7 area of the wheel of life is the career. The second is the financial. Now, everyone I assume really are interested in having a successful financial life, and we want this for our children. So it's equally important that this section of life cannot be toiled with. So it's something that is important. The next is physical. Now, there's a popular saying that health is wealth, and it's true. And good health is not something that anyone wants to trade or compromise in this life. So taking your health seriously is definitely not an option for anyone to explore in life. So basically, it's a very important part in giving attention to. Now, somebody will say, why are we talking about it, and why is it relevant? First, it's relevant to you as a person. Then it's also relevant to you if you are a parent and you're saying, I want to prepare my children for a successful and significant, impactful adult life. What we are saying is this: give attention to their different level of intelligences. How can you know? At different age and phase in their life, it's something we can teach. Like I said, we provide career and guidance and counseling. We do coaching for parents or educators, youth leaders, and what have you, to teach these things and translate or transmit this knowledge, so that different time is a test you can conduct for your children, right? And I'm saying that to let you know that while we're talking about the section of life, the different areas you need to give attention to in the life of your young people or your children as you prepare them for a successful adult life. So the next thing is we're looking at, I'd already spoken about the career life. I've already spoken about the financial life. I'm talking about the physical life. It's something we need to give. Another thing is the social life. You don't want to have children who are extremely introverts or who don't know how to relate with other people in a very intelligent and considerate way, because of course they lack emotional intelligence, right? So you look at, everyone wants to be relevant, everybody wants to matter in life, and everybody wants to have a good reputation in the society. Your children or young people that you work with, or if you're a young person connected with, it's important that you build your social skills, because man is naturally a social being. And so if you don't give attention to your social life, and that does not mean partying, really, it deals with being socially aware, relevant, and making social impact in your society, all in a pursuit to, be a person of influence and impact in your sphere, or your world of relationship. The next and important is the family life. Now, it takes you to either have a good family or a bad one to value one in life. Everybody wants to be loved and everybody deserves to be happy. And family covers that to a very large extent. So, I don't know whether you have heard things like dysfunctional families and the impact on the life of people and a lot of other things, really. Understanding this will let you know how to raise your young people to value, or children, as it were, to value family ideology, our family plan, our family goal. This is what we don't do in our family and what to view. The next thing is what? The intellectual. Now, you just don't want other sections of your children's life to be developed. And of course, they are non-entities or mental oboe. So it's important that they are developed intellectually. Now, you also want to be intellectually sound and capable no matter what in life and enjoy. Now, the idea of going through the multiple intelligences, which is 9, we're going to the wheel of life, which is 7, is to say that when you look at giving education to your children, you can't afford to focus only on the academic education. All of these contribute to provide that 7-star education for your children. And of course, at Things Voice, that is what we are dedicated about. Our organization is focused on. And it's a case of, it's something we can help you design a parenting plan. We can help you design a counseling or a coaching plan, design a program that helps you bring out the best version possible from your young people, right? Putting into consideration these things we have discussed so far. So moving right along, I won't be able to continue to share my slide. I lost the slide at some point. So right now I'm going to switch over to my notes, which I really, really, really won't exactly be sharing my notes. We will complete this slide, right? And if you did register, we would send you the slide. The slide will be available for free, right? Just to be sure that you are with me and I'm not just being talking. If you like the idea that you can get the slide, can you just, let me see you in the comment section, send me fire. Please, I need to see the comment to know whether or not I should continue, because this is not a radio station. It's only on radio station you just be talking to yourself. Please, can I get a response if you are cool with the fact, oh, I can see the fire. Thank you. Let's see the fire. If you like to get the slide, it's only those who send fire. We will send slide to. We are taking notes. Okay, the others don't want Abi. All right, we have noted those who send fire, and we will do the needful to get the slide across to you. So what you're going to have on the screen right now is just this. So we'll keep this right on your screen while I go over my notes. All right. I think generally, let me just stop sharing my notes. So yeah, my screen. Okay, I can see only, yeah, thank you so much. All right, moving right along, we are moving to the almost concluding part of today's session, which is the three, how will I say it? The three possibilities when you look at education generally. The three possibilities when you look at education generally. Number one is that you are either of these three. One, you are either educated or uneducated or miseducated. Those are the three possibilities when you look at education. You are either educated, uneducated, or miseducated. Like you probably already know, to be educated means you are schooled and knowledgeable in different aspects of life, accurately and adequately. Now, we're not dealing with academic education alone. So for instance, somebody can be academically smart, but street illiterate. Somebody can be academically smart, but industry illiterate. That means in their field, they are illiterate. So what they have and what they can brag is that they have first class. But with first class, they are looking for job, no job, they are frustrated. And of course, our educational system in this part of the world, which really we need to present alternative education and give 7-star education so that we don't have people who, by the time they are nearing graduation, you are asking them, what's the plan? And they said, I don't know. I'm always baffled when I ask people, what's the plan? They just finished their back, and of course, they are preparing for NYSC, or they finish NYSC. For most people, actually, during NYSC, really find out what the plan is. Some don't. But generally, when people leave our institution, you ask them what's the plan, they don't know, right? So you have the place of what we call the educated. You are schooled and knowledgeable in different aspects of life, accurately and adequately. Then you have the uneducated. That means the person is an illiterate and ignorant of things they are supposed to know in different aspects of life, and this places a limit on them and what they can do. Then, of course, you have the miseducated. Now, this miseducated refers to those who are educated yet uneducated because they have, one, please take note, they have been misinformed, they have been brainwashed, they have been given an incomplete, inaccurate, or incorrect education. And now this can be worse than the uneducated. For instance, I have issues with religion. Religion is one of the bane of the different things we have in society. Religion is a terrible thing. So somebody say, by that, are you referring to Christianity? No, I'm not referring to Christianity. Christianity is not a religion. That is not the focus of this class. So when you say somebody is miseducated, they are educated yet uneducated because they have been misinformed, one, they have been brainwashed, two, or given an incomplete, inaccurate, or incorrect education. And in this case, it can be quite, it's a worse case to be than being uneducated, because when you're uneducated, you can be educated with the right and accurate information. Now, for you to succeed in life, especially when it comes to raising children that would become successful and significantly impactful adults, they can't afford to ignore the next and final presentation I have tonight, which is the real deal, the reason why you have gotten here. All of the other conversation we have been having was done to bring you to this very spot, right? Which is the 7-star education we have been talking about. Now, this 7-star education will guarantee a successful and impactful adult. So let's quickly go over it. There are 5, so I'll list them and talk about them briefly. Number 1 is academic education. Number 2 is personal education. Number 3 is financial education. Number 4 is, now, sorry, number 2, sorry, is not personal. Well, it's not a problem. I'll give you number 4. Number 4 is professional education, right? Then last but not the least is spiritual education. And remember, when I say 7-star education, we are looking at dimensions of education that are relevant to produce a successful, by the true definition of what or who a success is, and significantly impactful adults. Now, you can be successful and not be impactful. It's very possible. And true success is influencing the world around you to think like you, aspire to your inspiration. Success is living your world better than you meet it. Success is making a place or a people better than you met them. It's not about the money in your account. It's about discovering your purpose and fulfilling it. The class is not on success or success motivation. So let's pick the first education, which is academic education. If you're a young person and you're here and you have come to believe that education is a scam, I would like to inform you that you have been scammed. If you believe that education is a scam, already you are scammed. The educational, the academic education rather, today has relevance. And take note, I'm not talking about school. I'm talking about education. Gone are those days. Remember, one of the things we told you, we're going to say old school and new school. Old school is the academic education you receive in the 4 walls of school. But the new school is now an hybrid. It's gone beyond going to a physical class. You're looking at e-learning. You're looking at a hybrid of practical, virtual reality. You're looking at a lot that the world today has made possible. So we're talking about education, not necessarily school. So, and it's a very important part of your preparing for adult life. Because academic education as I see today is most parts of the world, of course, is designed into job seeking, is designed into producing people so that they can be job seekers, right? And there's a lot wrong about that. And that is why the other parts or kind of education is relevant. Now, I don't believe academic education is enough to make anybody successful in life or wealthy. Otherwise, professors and doctors should be the richest or the most wealthy or the most influential. So I do not believe, I disagree totally without reservation that academic education alone is what you require to become successful. And that, of course, explains why young people think it's a scam. I agree with you to that extent to say that you don't need academic education to be wealthy or rich, but they will help you, even when you start making the money, to manage the money and multiply the money. At least academic education will help you to read. Academic education will help you to write. Academic education will help you understand basic arithmetics. Academic education will expose you to certain routine and discipline that you can't get any other way. The rigor of doing your assignment, the rigor of attending lectures, the rigor of, listening to somebody, even when you know that you can pay their bill. The opportunity of interacting with people and learning social skills. The discipline of I have assignment, the discipline I have to read to pass exam. They do something to build your personality. So it is not a waste. I'll move right along to the next and very important education, which is personal education. When we say personal education, we're dealing with an understanding of this device called you. It includes understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, your interest, your like, your dislike, your ability, your deficiencies, what areas of improvement. It's on this, for instance, there's something you are good at that nobody is good at. It includes understanding your personal calling. It includes understanding your personal purpose. It includes understanding why you are here. Why you are here. Of course, we may have some similarities in terms of why we are here as an individual, but there is something particularly you are produced for. And therefore, it is important that you are educated in discovering yourself, in mastering yourself, in becoming the best possible version of this device called you. It has also to do with being educated about your health, right? It has to do with personal development. It has to do with improving your self-worth. It has to do with understanding and discovering these key things: your gifts, your talents, your potentials, your skills, your expertise, your uniqueness. What makes you different from somebody else? Some people are naturally gifted in certain areas. They don't need to go to school. They are just, they know how to connect certain things. Of course, academic education will therefore now bring out the best version of themselves. But an understanding and education about you will make it on there. Now, it is making sure you keep growing holistically and holistically. And basically, that's what personal education is all about. Then the next and important education is professional or industry education. What most of our parents, educators, teachers, policymakers is go to school, go to school, go to school. So during the holiday, more school, extra lessons, read your book, don't watch TV and all of that. Let me tell you, it will not produce a successful adult per se. It is critical that young people or human beings, as it were, because whether you're young, old, you're a child, we're looking at 7-star education, are educated in their industry. So when we look at professional education, we're looking at industry education, we're looking at street education, an understanding of your field. So for instance, somebody went to school to study architecture. During holiday, don't let them do more books. During holidays, send them to go and intern. Send them to go and volunteer, either at a construction company or architectural firm. Send them to attend exhibition or architecture conferences. So schools don't really achieve professional education. What they give is academic education. Let them go for excursion. Let them go for exhibition. Let them intern. Let them do vocational study in the area of their field. And what have you? Because of time, I move away from that. So that basically deals with what is knowing how your job, your field, your industry work. It has to do with either you are choosing a career path and you understand what it is on the ladder towards your career goals, or you're starting a business, you understand what it is to be an entrepreneur, and a lot. And it has to do with, for those of you who are professional and connected to this, it has to do with understanding the business of your profession. For instance, there is a teaching or education profession, but there is a business of education. It's not the same thing. Most school owners are not necessarily professional in the educational sector, but there are those who understand opportunity in the education sector and they make business of it. And usually they are the employer of the doctors, employers of the PhD holders, 3 MScs in education and all of that. It's good, it's not bad. But the truth is, after your retirement, what is the plan? So professional education helps you understand the value of understanding the business of your profession while you are a professional. We move to the next, and that will be the fourth one, is financial education. At the end of the day, whether you have academic education, personal education, professional education, in order to create wealth and become financially free, you need financial education. Academic and professional education alone cannot settle it for you. Otherwise, you stay trapped in civil service or the rat rate of working, earning, spending, working, earning, spending. No financial education, no financial independence, period. Financial education is the development of financial intelligence. It is the understanding of how money works, the inner workings of money, the psychology of money. It is understanding the principle, the strategy, the laws of wealth creation. It is understanding entrepreneurship, financial freedom. It is quite unfortunate that schools and educational institutions don't teach it, but it's fine. At Teens Voice, we teach this. On January 11, we launch a financial literacy platform. If you go to teensvoice.org/financial education, I'll type it in the comment section. If you go there right now, we have a course that is available that you can, I just want to type that, www.teensvoice.org/financial education. We launched this financial education, right? We launched this on January 3rd, and the goal is to help 1 million people globally, beginning with members of our community, become financial literate. I don't want to enter that class. When you visit that site, you'll get more information. So basically, that's what financial education is all about. Last but not the least is spiritual education, right? To succeed in life, right, also requires spiritual education. Because if you look at it, any other thing you create at best is at your mind. But let's face the facts. There's either male or female. There's either up or down. There's either left or right. So two things are also factual when we look at this. Because you see, a denial of the existence of spirituality doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Let's do a very practical example. So let's do this. I hope you are not busy doing every other thing. So breathe in, breathe out. In, out. What do you breathe in? Oxygen. What do you breathe out? Carbon dioxide, right? Now, that thing called oxygen, can you see it? The thing called carbon dioxide, can you see it? Yet, they exist. That means as intangible as they are, without the absence of these two things, no human being will live. That is the way spiritual things are. Your denial of the fact of the existence of God doesn't erase him. You are the one that have issues, but one day you will know. But the fact that you are not on God's side does not mean you are neutral. There's no neutral ground. It's either left or right, up or down, male or female. And by extension, that means you are either in the secret place of the Most High or you are in the secret court. There are no middle grounds. And the thing about the secret court is it doesn't require an invitation. Once you are not on God's side, you're already in the secret court. Whether or not you like it, because your philosophy is now your God. Your ideology is now your God. Whatever it is that replaces the belief in the existence of a sovereign being called God is now your God. We live in two worlds, and the spiritual control the physical is a fact. The spiritual world is more real and superior than the physical world. The spiritual world controls the physical world. The spiritual world is the realm where events occur first before you see them manifested physically. Deny it or not, your experience currently, good, bad, or ugly, is as a result of activities in the spiritual realm. If you are spiritually inclined and educated, you can tap into the spiritual realm to control things in your physical realm. We are spiritual beings. Man is a living being. He has a soul. Man is a spirit. He has a soul and he lives in a body. You take away the spirit out of the body is a carcass. So cultivating a spiritual being and being educated spiritually is a key for success and progress in life. There are spiritual laws to learn if you want to create lasting and successful life. Spiritual laws do exist, and it's a fact, whether or not you like it. And with that, I'd like to draw the curtain on this, and basically, in celebration of the International Education Day at Teens Voice, we decided to just share this with you, and we are glad we could do this. And so basically, at this point, I want to request kindly, if I could take one or two comments, questions and answers, if you would do me that honor. It would be nice if what we just did is listen only. I appeal very seriously that you should please try and say something. So anybody can unmute. So it's either you are, I know you would like to say thank you, it's fine, but please, in addition to saying thank you, please share with us your learning. Please do me that honor as a way of saying thank you and letting me know you have been with me. So I'll take that because we need to close right now. Thank you so much. Has it been worth the time? Please let me hear from you. Please, Ufoma, Shalomi, Taiwo Falade,
God bless you, Pastor Well.
Oh, good evening, ma. That is Dr. Omoni, my big sister from the Ministry of Education. Yeah. Good evening, ma. Thank you so much. I'd like to hear from you, ma.
Yeah, God bless you. And I was about going to bed when I saw your message, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what Pastor Wilt has to say. And I'm grateful because I joined this class, and I want to say God bless you more. And I've learned so much tonight, talking about the 7 sections of the wheel of life: the career path, financial, physical, social, family, intellectual, and then coming to the 7-star education, which is actually the reason why the class, is you took us through the class. Yes, and I so much love the number 2 that has to do with the personal education. And then I started meditating, and I'm like, oh, if young ones don't even understand what academic education is or financial or professional, but they understand what personal education is, it will really help them to go a long way. And then I don't know why we have I think we're about 9 of us on this. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
All together. Yes. So I don't know why.
I have an audience, though you see, ask your question, ma. I have an audience on Instagram too that are connected, but you can go ahead.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I'm streaming from my personal Instagram handle.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, okay, but has there been any on this particular class you have taken us? Yes, have you done this on a larger platform?
No, I haven't.
Okay, is there a way we can have this? What I mean is that bringing schools together to listen to this particular 7-star education.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it possible?
Ma, we can make that happen. You are a partner in progress, so we can make that happen.
But I want to be sure that have you ever done this before somewhere outside Ministry of Education?
No, no, I haven't done it outside Ministry of Education. It's a curriculum I teach to a private group. So this is the
Oh,
first time I'm bringing it to the public. I've done
oh,
this for
beautiful.
many years at maybe when I have camp meetings with my young guys. I
Okay.
don't even teach it on Sundays, but during summer camp program, I do this. But it's something we would like to really seriously do on a large scale, to the young people as well as the people who work with them. So we would like to join you to make it happen.
Okay. Because I know that during my days I didn't really do this GSS 3.
Yes,
Mine
ma'am.
was it from 1, 2, and 3. And then when it was time for us to move to the senior class, the one we call either science or art or commercial.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I remember I wasn't the one who told myself, I wanted to go to science class. The teachers just came up and said, "Oh, Bolaji, you're a very smart student. You should go to science class. You should go to science class." And then lo and behold, I went to science class, and at the end of the day, during the first WAEC, I think it was our set, we had the first SS3, and then I failed physics, I had F. I failed chemistry, I had F. I failed, did I do further maths? But thank God my dad, who on his own took it up and was like, "No, you don't belong to the science class, you belong to the art." And then I had to do WAEC all over again. And I thank God because my father intervened, and he was able to help me see that I don't belong to the science class, because what those teachers
Shy.
made me feel then was because, oh, you are smart, you are
Yes.
intelligent, you are this, you're that. So I really appreciate this class this evening. Then I have my baby. I have the baby of the house, who is he is in SS3 now as we speak, and
Yes, ma'am.
he happens to be okay. He's 14 years old this year, and he'll be writing WAEC. I know that the teacher in their school, when he was done with class 5, primary 5, I insisted I wanted him to do primary 6, but the school said no. That he happens to be the top first 5. That's why am I insisting he should read 6? I insisted and saying no, I want him to do 6 because of his age. The school declined. I'm like, and they believe that he's one of their best and he can do well. He's doing well. But my question now to you is the age thing, this age factor that a child at this age taking WAEC and then moving to the higher institution. Looking at all that you have taught us this evening now, how can this child, I'm talking about my own son now, is it, of course I know we can't be talking about, should we be talking about spiritual education or professional, of course not professional education.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then financial education, which I agree with you that if you are not financially literate, you can't be free. And then, of course, we should be talking about academic education and personal education. So my question is, how can I help my son as a mother? How can I help him, knowing fully well that, okay, I tried to tell the school that let this boy take 6 so that he can, be mature and be good enough. But they were not saying it that way. So your professional advice is what I need here now.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
do you advise? This age thing that that's, I think last year there was this issue with the federal government. They are saying that, oh, if you would not turn 16, you can't move into the higher
Yeah. Ma, I don't
institution,
know
you
if you
can't take
remember
exam.
that it was a topic of discussion at our leadership conference where the young people debated it.
Oh, I wasn't there, and
Oh,
I
okay. It was
wasn't.
a topic of discussion.
Okay, so what's your professional advice now that the school said this boy is good? Of course, he's doing well, but now he's just 14 years. He's
Okay.
going to turn 15. He's going to turn 15 this year. So, what is your professional advice now?
All right, ma. The thing is this. First, what would happen after, for everyone who registered for this course, we will make the slide available. The idea is to not sectionalize this area of education for these young people. The idea is they are so young. Now, like I said, I'm a certified teen coach. So if we speak to what I know, talking about the cognitive development of the young people, currently in the brain of your child, you can Google it. Just say Google or Meta AI should give you the brain of a typical teenager within the age you have spoken about.
Okay.
The most developed part of his brain right now is his IQ and emotion. His logical reasoning is not as strong because of where his brain is. So what happened is this: they are more emotionally driven than logically driven. So that's why you find most times teenagers will make decisions more on emotion than logical reasoning. It's a function of the development happening in their brain at this phase, right? So at such, for instance, that is times like this is not where you want to force them to say you are no longer a child. Yes, they are no longer a child, but this is the time they need you the most, because they will now go towards anything that satisfied or feel that emotional craving, right, at this phase. So the professional advice to parents or anybody who work with young people is actually parents in particular, because you can't delegate your parents. You are deceiving yourself.
That's right. That's right.
So is to be there for them emotionally. So if we look at the 5-star or the 7-star education broken into these 5 dimensions, right? When you look at academic education, obviously it's doing well. When you look at spiritual education, mistake parents make, for instance, when their children become, I pastor young people of a congregation of, if you look at physically and virtually, of over 1,000, right? And averagely on a Sunday, we're looking at 300, 400, and at times 500 that I speak to every Sunday. And now that is, you are looking at a congregation of roller coaster of different personality and emotion. What does that mean? What I'm saying to that effect is to say that and I have highly successful young people. If you follow me on Instagram, what I began to do gradually is I created on my status on Instagram a particular categorization that has to do with, I call them my guys. So I try to archive the people that have had opportunity to coach, mentor, or pastor, showcase what they are doing. I'm going somewhere, man. At this point is where parents should expose their children to spiritual activity and development, because at that place, their sense of God begins to develop. Their sense of spirituality begins to develop. Because at this point, they are forming belief systems, they are forming ideologies, they are forming convictions. So it's not something that most parents do it. Shoo them away from, maybe there's a church camp meeting that is going on, or there's a retreat or something. You say, no, face your book. At the end of the day, he didn't go to school to become a student. He went to school to become a successful adult. If you raise him alone in academic education, when he comes out, he would only be an efiko who one day may look to you and tell you, does God really exist? The question is, do you want to deal with that? Or come back and tell you that I don't feel like I'm a guy, I'm a girl. So we're looking at developing, exposing them to spiritual activity. Another thing is this: once we have ascertained the career path we want them to go to, we can do 3 things for them during the holiday. Either internship, vocational skills, going to go and learn a skill, or the third one is apprenticeship. There's nothing wrong in sending, if that is the career path, we know that, okay, this person one is interested, or the course of study is going to be, there's nothing wrong in sending them to go and learn something during holiday that is connected to their career path. So that begins to let them see the professional aspect of what they will go and study in school. So it makes education more creative and fun. And they can be more receptive. Then when you move around, of course, like I said, we launch a financial literacy platform. You begin to test them with things like savings, investments. You look at certain terms like compound interest, how to diversify funds, cash flow, and all of that. These are not just, for instance, basic economic terms. We're not just for passing economy. They are a law of wealth creation. What to produce, for whom to produce, where to produce, and all of those things are basic principle and all. So I don't know if I said too much. So the whole idea is to develop an holistic young person that is balanced academically, spiritually, professionally, not necessarily working. They could intern, they could go and do vocational study, they could volunteer somewhere. They could even follow you to work. Let's suppose they are interested in your field and a lot of other things. Was that helpful?
Yeah, it was.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, fellow men and women of the jury, thank you for joining this. And with this, we say congratulations and happy International Education Day. I'm happy to have you. Now, if I didn't call your name or know you personally, please, I don't take it for granted that you are connected here. We look forward to collaboration. We can run this training with your church. Like esteemed Dr. just said right now, definitely we're going to do this together at district level. We're looking at bringing some of this training closer rather than bringing the people up to our usual conference venue. We're looking forward to do this maybe across the district this year. And it's something that we believe that people need as we together prepare our young people for successful and significantly impactful adult life. With this, I'll say goodbye. This year, look forward to more webinars like this. We're going to be dealing with issues around emotional intelligence as we prepare for Valentine's Day. So prepare your young people to attend. You know, we'll be having some webinars around dealing with addiction. And for instance, I know the next immediate one we'll be having is, we call it Before You Fill That JAMB Form, What You Should Know. Then after that, we'll have the one we say, Before You Write That WAEC, What You Should Know. So if you registered for this webinar, we will send the slide to you. Good night, everyone. We'll see you some other time. God bless you. Please, sorry, before you go, my personal handle, so that you can get updates on what we are doing, is Talk to P Wealth. That is TALK number 2, then PWEALTH. Talk to P Wealth on Instagram and YouTube. My Facebook handle is Oladiti Oladele. Then LinkedIn is Oladiti Oladele. Then, of course, you want to follow the Teens Voice Academy on Instagram. On YouTube, it is Teens Voice. Basically, please follow us. Tell people about us. If you believe this is impactful, then you should let people know. And as many people really that follows us, and when we send the alert, says hello to us on our social media and with their email address, we will send them this slide. And actually, the recording of this will be made available on our resource center. We'll also send you the link to the entire video. So it's something you can send to people to watch, and we look forward to partnership and collaboration. Good night and God bless you.
Good night, son.